Hey guys, what is up? In this video, I am going to be going over the common quote-unquote pitfalls people have when they switch to a Mac and showing you kind of how to use a Mac. I switched to a Mac about a year ago from a Windows PC, and now I will admit, I kind of had an unfair advantage that I had used Macs before. But it was my first time owning a Mac of my very own, and it was my first time really fully using Mac OS X without Windows. I didn't have Windows anymore. I didn't have a Windows PC, so it was my first real dive into Mac OS X. Now, I am currently using Mac OS 10.7.5, which is Lion. And just to kind of give you a little bit of perspective, this is a 2006 Mac Pro, the original 1,1, so this is the top line type of Macs you can get. Now, most of you are probably not going to be running Mac Pros. Most of you are probably going to be running MacBooks or MacBook Pros, which those are perfectly fine machines. Those are great machines, actually. I ran a MacBook for about a year before getting this system, but whatever you decide on getting, they all will work very well. The iMacs are also a desktop computer that you can look into. So just bear all that in mind when making your selection. It's going to be a little different based on what you have, but the actual operating system will be exactly the same. So the first thing a lot of people don't know how to do when they get a Mac: copy paste. I don't know why this is so difficult, especially if you've cut over from Windows. So let's just go ahead and open something that we can type in. So let's just pop open Microsoft Word. We're going to come back to this little feature in just a second here, because that's a really good feature that a lot of people don't know about. But for right now, we're just going to pop open Microsoft Word. I'm going to open a blank Word document, and let's just say, hi, my name is Chromajt. Okay, let's say I wanted to copy that text and paste it later in my document as well. I don't want to have to retype it. I just want to copy paste. Well, I can highlight the text, and I could come up here and click copy and paste, but we want a keyboard shortcut for that. The easiest keyboard shortcut for copy paste is Command-C. It's just one button over. There is a control key on a Mac keyboard, but there's also a command key. For me, it's the second button on the bottom row, Command-C. Okay, now it's copied. Now I'm going to come down a couple rows. I'm going to hit Command-V, and it will paste. So it's identical keyboard shortcuts. It's literally just shift one key over. It's not control, it's command. Once you've done it once or twice, it's not that hard. I don't know why people freak out. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You know, I can push Control V all day. It ain't gonna do it. Command V, it'll paste your text. So that is copy paste. The next thing I want to talk about is how to quit an application. You just saw me close Microsoft Word, and to the naked eye, you would think, oh, it's closed. And on Windows, that would have been closed. However, if you look up here, the truth lies up here. Word is still open. If I were to click on the Word, I'd just go right back into that blank document mode, and I could start typing a new document. But how do I actually close Microsoft Word? How do I get the computer to stop Word altogether? Well, you could come up here and click the little X like I did the first time. But the only way there's two ways to fully close an application. You can come up here to where it says Word and go to Quit Word, or if you want a keyboard shortcut, make sure Word is open and it says Word up there, and push Command Q. When you do Command Q, now Word has closed. completely. It's not open anywhere in the background. It's fully closed down. Now, the next thing I want to cover is Spotlight. Now, I already have used Spotlight once, and that was how I opened Microsoft Word, actually. So, there's two ways to get to Spotlight. You can either come up here and click on the little magnifying glass, or the keyboard shortcut for it is Command Spacebar. That will bring up Spotlight, and now you can just start searching for whatever you want. So let's say I want to open Keynote because I want to make a presentation this week. Keynote, I type KEY, and in real time it's filtering a list of all my installed applications, but it's also searching my documents, it's searching images, anything that has the phrase KEY in it, it's going to find it. But the first hit is Keynote. It's an application. So I'm going to hit enter. It's going to go ahead and load up Keynote, and in a couple seconds here we should see Keynote has launched, and we should get our blank presentation. Or okay, I had a presentation already open. I'm just going to close that. So now you can see Keynote's open, Command Q, quits out Keynote. So that is Spotlight. Really easy way to find and search for applications you might be looking for. Next thing on our list of things that people have common misconceptions on with Macs is the oh so sacred right click. Now, I'm going to be honest here. I'm not going to be able to show you this entirely. For one simple reason, I'm on a Mac Pro and I'm using a traditional mouse. My mouse is set up to do a right click natively, but I'm going to show you where it is, and then I'll tell you about where it would normally be. So, you need to go into System Preferences. Now, it might be on your dock, and it should be on your dock if it's the first time you boot it up. I don't have it on my dock, so I'm just going to use Spotlight to find it. System Preferences. And here we go. I'm going to come down here, go to Mouse, and then this is where the discrepancy is going to be. Normally, it would say primary click, secondary click. My mouse already has two separate buttons. If you had a traditional Mac mouse or an Apple branded mouse, you will have an option to have a single button or two buttons, and you can say primary click, secondary click, and then you will be all set. And you just assign the secondary click to the right. So now right. So you can see I can right click or do a secondary click. The other way to perform a secondary click is hold your Option key. It might not work on this. Oh, there we go. Hold the Control key. I'm sorry. It's the Control key. And I'm actually hitting my left mouse button, but I'm getting a secondary click. So two ways to do a quote-unquote right click. The third way is if you have a trackpad, which I don't have, and you use two fingers and tap the trackpad, it will perform that secondary click as well. So now let's go ahead and talk about Finder. Now, Finder is always open. You can't close Finder. It is running in the background all the time, and it's right down here. And Finder is the equivalent of Windows Explorer. It is the file management system in Macs. Now, I will admit, it's not the prettiest in organization. As you can see, I'm horrible about organizing inside of Finder, but it does give you some tools to help you stay a little bit more organized. So, I have a folder here, right here, Chromajt. This is all of my video intros and outros and all that stuff that I use all the time. I want to go ahead and tag this with a color, so I know what I can easily find this folder. You can right click or do a secondary click and you can tag it with colors. You can do folders by creating new folders and organizing the folders. As you can see, I've got a folder here, 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 and then you can just save generally. But Finder does a good job. You got your Dropbox if you have Dropbox installed. Here's my desktop if I had anything staying on my desktop, which I currently don't. Home folder, I never use it. You can use it if you really want. Downloads, your downloads will naturally go into here. Applications, this is all of the applications you currently have installed on your Mac. Documents, we were just in. Pictures, all of your photos will get stored here. Movies, very self-explanatory. This is a thing from Adobe, and then these are any additional hard drives you might have on your computer. This Mac actually is running 4 hard drives, so my other 3 hard drives are all showing up here. So, that is Finder, and when you close Finder, it is still open in the background. Even just clicking on my desktop, it will still keep me inside of Finder. The next thing is Mission Control. Mission Control is down here in my dock, and if I click it, you're going to see I have Mission Control open up here. So now I have actually 2 desktops running right now. My first desktop is what I've been on this entire time. The second desktop is over here, and there's currently nothing open on it, and there's nothing on it at all. But let's say I was working on something in Finder, and I had an internet browser open. And maybe I'm encoding a video. So I have Handbrake open as well. Well, now if I come back to Mission Control, I'm on desktop 2. All these programs are there. I'm going to go back to desktop 1. Now, there's nothing open. And on desktop 1, I want to run Evernote and maybe iTunes. So, let's go back to Mission Control here. Now I've got Evernote and iTunes running in desktop 1, and then on desktop 2, we have those initial 3 applications. Now, let's say I want to get rid of a desktop. All I have to do is hover my mouse over one of the desktops, close it. It moves the applications from desktop 2 over to desktop 1, which is now just desktop. And now I can actually go back into the desktop, and then I can start closing applications. So I can close Handbrake, I can close Evernote, I can't close Finder, but I can just close that window. And then I can close out Google Chrome. Let's see, what are some other common ones that people struggle with? Changing your desktop background, it's in System Preferences, but the easiest way to do it, right-click or secondary click, change the desktop background, and boom, you get all of your desktop options. There's actually a lot of great stock images. And just to show you, this is everything that's in System Preferences. You can see it's quite a bit. It's very similar to Windows. You have your general settings, your desktop, your dock, your mission control, language and text, security, privacy, blah, 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 blah. Those are just some of the common ones. If you want me to go a little bit more in detail, let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.